action on one news. I am last night.
This is
Abandon our brother Nnamdi Kanu.
I'm a Biafra by indigenation.
Biafra, and we can never deny our ancestral.
This is Debe action on one. Hello, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. For the benefit of our viewers out there, we would like you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
I'm Chief Debe Ojukwu.
Okay. You are a member of the Supreme Council of Elders of Indigenous People of Biafra. In a nutshell, can you tell us, so far so good, the agitation for self-determination through the due process of law, which you are part of? What can you say about it, the journey so far?
Well, the journey has been very encouraging. Initially, we started with very unsure gait and unsure steps. It started off with the donation of the power of attorney to Bilia Human Rights to pursue the case in the court. The essence of that is that as much as possible, we want to have an achievement of total independence for Biafra without much friction. And do it in a very peaceful way and with minimal human casualty.
Okay. Outside the legal process of going to court, we understand that the indigenous people of Biafra have engaged in a political process and as well the diplomatic process. How do you think that can help or aid the Biafran agitation for self-determination?
That's a very good, viable three-prong attack to achieve that self-determination. The legal, is the other to anchor whatever we are doing on the bulwark of the law, which I think is very reasonable. Then the second is the diplomatic engagement, because finally, in the final analysis, we are assuming to be among the Committee of Nations. And to be among the Committee of Nations, we must exude that confidence to be able to operate as a nation. So that is why we must engage other nations and try to convince other nations that we have all it takes to stand as an independent country. That is, in essence, the trust of the diplomatic engagement.
And the political?
The political is as much as possible. Police means the people. And whatever you are doing, you have to do it with the people. We can't expect the Council of Elders group of people between 10 and 15. They cannot arrogate to themselves the wisdom, total wisdom, to decide for everything for all Biafrans. So that is why it's always good to carry along the people, the police. That is why the political aspect of it is very vital in the struggle.
Okay. Now that there are so many people out there, they barely understand the concept of the agitation for self-determination, and thus they have been brought out on the street. But in recent time, we have seen a turnaround of that protest, that's going out on the street to protest and now adopting sit at home. What can you say about that? Because the terms to pursue what they call civil disobedience through sit at home. What is your perception about going out on the street to protest and also to sit at home?
Well, being confrontational is definitely going to result in casualty. And to all intents, that is what going out to the streets will engender. Okay. You find out that the moment you unleash yourselves on the streets, you are not the only Nigerian. You have other people who are trying to go for their businesses. Even if you are not disturbing them. They will claim that you are disturbing them. And the moment you are trying to impede their free access to and through their places of business, that is what will attract the security agencies. And the security agencies, under one guise or the other, might start injuring people. And that is what we must shield our people from. If you look at it at home, it's lethargic. You are laid back. You are not aggressive. It was used successfully in India. In India, what they did was they came out and sat on the ground. When they sat on the ground, there was nothing anybody could do. They were not fighting anybody. They were not stoning anybody. Gandhi and his people just came and sat on the road. The military people or the police people came, they carried them. When you carried them, somebody else will come and sit down there until they found out that those people were serious. So when you sit at home and you don't go to the shop, you don't go to your places of business, it is unthinkable that any government will come and start coming to your houses to drag you out to come and engage in economic pursuits. And the lack of engagement in economic pursuits will, to a very large extent, scuttle the economy, and no government will accept that. So that is why I think it's a better option. I've always been suing for a peaceful way of doing it. That is why I anchor most of the things I'm doing on the legal, the diplomatic, and the political.
Okay. Now, one final thing which is very important in this entire process, the unity of Biafran people has been a big concern in the entire process. What is your stance with respect to Biafran agitators, especially different groups uniting together?
Well, the agitation for the sovereign state of Biafra, initially the concept was anchored on unity. There was no time 20 people came and started saying we want to fight for Biafra. It started from one source. So it was united. But then along the line, Luca, finance, economics came in. And that was what was responsible for the disparate organizations. Some people now started feeling they can make money out of it. I've even suggested, ab initio, that any group that midwives the sovereignty of Biafra should be seen as not, they should not participate in any election. If you participated in midwifing Biafra, you should be promoted to the sinecure post of elder statesman, and you should no longer be part of the struggle. You cannot, for instance, come and vie and say, I want to be president, I want to be prime minister, I want to be this. Once you are part of that process, you must be above board. You must be able to set down the ground rules and guide the young ones. This is how you go about it. Then after doing that, you don't descend again on the arena to say, okay, I want to be the president of the country. Because you find out that it's all this subtle idea of who is going to lead and all that. That is what is leading.
Who is going to be the president of Biafra?
President of Biafra.
Because we have seen people call themselves names, some prime ministers, or have arrogated themselves commander-in-chief and the rest of them. I think that is where you are going to.
Yes, that is what we call euthanasia. Okay. Euthanasia is like suicide. Midwifing the independence of Biafra should be suicidal. Once you are able to achieve it, you should die to politics. You should move away from politics. You should no longer be alive to politics.
Okay, now this is going to this very idea now. What you just said now might throw up some sort of controversy in the entire process, talking about political movement. Some people have said that Biafran agitators should not agitate or participate in politics in Nigeria. Is that the two things? The things what you just talked about now, do they relate together? That's Biafrans should abstain or from anything politics in Nigeria.
No, what I'm saying, abstention is not the solution. Because when you abstain, you are giving room to be ignored. Okay. You take part, get what you want, and then leave the stage.
Then okay, you take part and then you leave the stage, meaning that Biafran agitators to secure their land politically, and those that are at the forefront should not see themselves as they are getting the Biafra to lead the Biafra. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Do you have any message for Biafran people out there as we're wrapping it up tonight?
Well, fellow Biafrans, I'll have to thank you for the zeal you've shown so far. I'll urge you to always sue and fake for unity, because it's with that unity that we ever hope to achieve what we intend. You should find that having disparate voices will not help us. Rather, it will create loophole for the enemies to infiltrate our land. Once we are united, it becomes very difficult for people to run down what we are planning to do.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.